Okay, this is Catholic Dad again, episode number 6. Episode number 6. I'm a kind of a conservative guy, and a lot of conservatives hate the idea of tariff systems, and they're free traders. And so, am I a free trader or am I a tariff guy? That's really an interesting question. And I would say that tariffs are superior to other systems of taxation. So here's the argument for you. I actually why we shouldn't be free traders, and I'm not saying we shouldn't be free traders, but why it's preferable if you have to tax people to tax it through tariffs. So think about it. Can government exist on its own without wealth extracted from a population? No, it can't, because government cannot create its own wealth. It has to extract it from the marketplace. So you, as a conservative, somebody that believes in the principle of subsidiarity or smaller government or lesser government or solutions solved locally, you don't like taxation. And in the last video we actually discussed when you do tax and extract money from people, it's a violation of their property rights. And so therefore all government has to violate the property rights of all people. And so when you talk about free trade or tariffs, you have to think about it in terms of this. What is the most efficient way to extract wealth from a population to fund the necessary role of government? And I will argue that the tariff system is by far the most efficient way that anybody's come up with as of yet. Certainly, you can think about the other tax systems they have, like regulatory fees or income taxes or excising it through any other fee system. That by necessity, that you need a very large bureaucratic model. And think about the IRS. What are there? 2 million IRS employees. Think about how many people, and the accountants, and and everything else that needs to be in place to make sure the income tax system works. And then think about it this way. Then there's lobby groups, right? So once you have an income tax system, suddenly you have massive lobbying from all sides of the political aisle to try to alter the code in the favor of certain corporations here, there, and everywhere else. Think about the tariff system now. Okay, if you have an entry point, so essentially this is Hamiltonian economics. If you haven't read about Hamilton, but he wanted free trade in America. This is what he wanted. He said that the Congress had the capacity to keep trade regular amongst the states, meaning that states couldn't have tariff systems against each other. That there were free trade boundaries within our country, but we had to tariff our system to tariff systems for impost and unpost taxes on foreign trade. The reason why this was a good thing is we would maximize liberty in our own house, right? And that we would take care of our fellow countrymen. That's what we would do, and we would create a strong economic power in the nation. And anybody outside of this system, if they wanted an access point to the free trade system that we had inside of our system, they would have to pay an entry fee. That's called a tariff. And for the 60% of our nation's history or something like that, that was the only system of taxation that we had. And I would say, if you think about it today, you could have port entry points into our country, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 ports or something like that. The number of administrators you would need to run such a system would be very small. I would say, 5,000 people will need to be employed. You can almost automize the entire system. And it's a far less burdensome taxation system than income tax could ever be. And that's why I'm a tariff guy. Also, in addition, there's something nice about buying from your local neighbor. So therefore, if you buy from your local neighbor, it's not taxed, right? But if you buy from China or Europe or something like that, then there's a heavy tax on it. And then so therefore you build a community, a sovereign nation, something that's strong against the rest of the world. And so I think that's the idea of Hamilton. I think it worked very, very, very well in this country up until the 1980s when the system got taken over by free traders. And you can see what happened to our industrial base instead. It completely got hollowed out. And I think, and I don't know if I'm extracting too far when I say this, but we don't have the sense of community we used to have. And I think that is in part due to the fact that we've embraced so much free trade. Is that it doesn't really matter to us anymore if we have true free trade who we purchase our goods from. And frankly, I like purchasing my goods from my neighbor over some guy halfway around the world. And so that builds community, that builds co-interdependence amongst your societies. And that's why I'm kind of a tariff guy. If you have arguments outside of the tariff system that you want to pose to me, that's really great. And by the way, if I lived in a perfect world, I wouldn't want any taxation at all. I think no government is preferable. 0% taxes like the ideal, but again, we don't live in heaven, okay, people. We live on earth, and there's problems that need to be solved. And I think a governmental system is certainly necessary. So as long as you have that, you have to tax, and you have to extract from the market economy. So God bless. Pray the daily rosary. Try to get the confession. Please like or subscribe. I keep forgetting to say that in the beginning of the video, but hopefully we can build a nice a library of videos here, and then my kids can have a great gift. So, okay, well, thank you. Take care. Bye.